It's another math day here with teacher Jenny. Join me for another topic, and this time we're going to talk about how to find our standard form or standard equation of the parabola with the given focus and directrix. So we'll start off with number one. We are given with a focus -2, 0 and directrix y equal to 2. So we will be utilizing graphing method here wherein we've got the focus, plotting that one, we have a -2, 0. This is where our -2, 0 is. We're plotting that one where our x is -2 and our y is a 0. So that's where your x-axis is. This is our focus. And then next, we are going to plot also the directrix. The directrix is with y equal to 2. This is where our y equal to 2. We are going to simply draw a broken line here passing through y equal to 2 for our directrix. And note that once we say focus going over to the directrix, the distance here will always be at 2a. So if we are going to identify our a later on, we will be utilizing this property. And by the way, we'll identify first our opening. The opening here, since our focus is located below the directrix, which means that our opening here is downward. Because our focus will always be located inward with our um, parabola, so which means that the opening there is going to be downward. Next off, we don't have a vertex, but we can actually find our vertex by simply noting that we've got there from the directrix to the focus, our distance is always going to be an A. And of course, if we wanted to look for A, we have to know that distance between the directrix and the focus. So we'll start off counting. From the focus here, we count 1 and 2. So which means that our 2a is equal to 2. Now we need to find our a to get to where the vertex is. So we're dividing this by 2. And we've got a here equal to a 1. So which means that from the focus here, we're going to count 1 unit moving towards where the directrix is, because our vertex is located in between the directrix and the focus, or in the middle of the focus and the directrix. So from the focus here, we count 1. This is where our vertex is. And the coordinate of that one is -2 on x. So we have that as -2. And then our y here is a 1. So that is our vertex. Next, after that, we need to identify the a because we already have an a before identifying the vertex. So we have to identify the 4a by simply multiplying our a here by 4. 4 times 1 is a 4. So once you're done with all the things that we need, you can now simply write our standard equation of the parabola. So let's start off. This is downward. So once you say downward, upward, we always start with our x. So starting off with x here, minus h squared equal to, this is downward, so we are expecting that that should be a -4a times our y minus k. So plugging in the information, we've got h, k. So replacing everything there except for the x and y. So we have x minus, our h is -2. So that will become a plus 2 squared equal to, negative will be copied. We already have a 4a, which is a 4. Replace the entire 4a by 4. Multiply that with y minus, our k there is a 1. There you go with the standard equation of the parabola. Let us now do number 2. Focus is at 5, 3 and directrix is at y equal to 0. So let's start up with opening. Focus is at 5, 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where our x equal to 5 is. And 5, 3, we have 1, 2, 3, y equal to 3. So our 5, 3 is somewhere here. This is where our focus is. And drawing the directrix, we have that one as y equal to 0. So since that's y equal to a 0, we'll be drawing that one on the x-axis. That is identical to our x-axis. Because here, this is where our y equal to a 0 is. This is 1, 2, and 3. So once you say the directrix is at y equal to 0, we'll be literally drawing that one identical to the x-axis. So we can see clearly that our parabola here is going to be opening upward because our focus is located at the top of the directrix. So opening is upward. Then we are going to identify the vertex. And before that one, we need our A because without the A, we cannot identify the vertex. So again, the distance from the focus to the directrix is 2A. So counting off the number of units, we are going to simply count. So we're going to count from the focus going to the directrix. So we have, starting off from here, we have 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 3 units as our 2A. So finally for our A, we need to divide this by 2. So dividing this one by 2, so we will be getting our A as 3 halves. So that will be our value for A. So we've got now A as 3 halves. And this time our problem is to identify our vertex. 3 halves is still the same as 1.5. So if we are going to count 1.5 from the focus or the directrix, so let's say I'm going to start off from the directrix. So from here, I'm going to count 1.5 units going up to where the focus is. So this is 1, and then 0.5 is somewhere here. This is where our vertex is located, and the coordinate of that one is 5, and then our y value is 1.5. So we have there 5 and then 1.5 as our vertex. So we are left now with our 4a. So finding for 4a, all we have to do is to multiply 4 with our a as 3 halves. So multiplying that one, this would lead to 12 because 4 times 3 is 12 divided by 2, which is equal to 6. So again, if you are multiplying that one, we can multiply numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator. So we have 4 times 3, that's 12, over 1 times 2, that is 2, which is equal to 6. We have this as our 4a. Writing now the standard equation of our parabola, we have the upward direction or opening of the parabola. Since that is upward, we'll start off by writing x minus h squared equal to upward. That's leading to a positive numbers, to all positive numbers. We have that as 4a times y minus k. So replacing everything, this is our h, this is our k. We have x minus our h there is 5 squared equal to our 4a is 6, and then times y minus our k there is a 5. So that is how we write our standard equation of the parabola. Oopsie, that is 1.5 or 3 halves. Sorry, that one. That should be 3 over 2. There you go. So that is how you write our standard equation of the parabola. Okay, let's now start with the third one. So we are having here a focus of 0, 5 and directrix at x equal to negative 8. So let's start off by plotting that one on the graph. The Cartesian plane. So we have focus at 0, 5. So we will be looking at that one on the y-axis where 5 is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where our y equal to 5 is. And the 0, 5, which is our focus, is located there. Then we go for the directrix, which is a negative 8. It's at x equal to negative 8. So we have this as negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. This is where our x equal to negative 8 is. This is where our directrix will be passing through. It says there, directrix is at x equal to negative 8. So looking at that positioning, our focus is located to the right side of the directrix. So we knew now that our opening here is going to be to the right. Then we are going to look for the vertex. Again, we cannot proceed to the vertex. We have to know the A here by simply getting our 2A. The 2A is the distance from the focus to the directrix. So let's now count the number of units away from the focus to the directrix. So this is the focus. So we start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 units away from the directrix. So solving for A, we need to divide that by 2. And so with this one, our A now is a 4. So since we have our A, we can now look for the vertex by simply counting off from the focus towards where the directrix is 4 units. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where our vertex is. And naming the coordinate of that one, we've got negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. This is our x, negative 4. So vertex now will be with negative 4. And the y value here is still the same as the focus y value, which is a 5. Then we are now ready for the 4a. So 4 times 4, which is our a, is 16. So writing off our standard equation, this is to the right, so which means that we start with the y minus k squared equal to the right, that's leading to a positive number. This is a 4a, which is positive, times x minus h. And then plugging in, this is h, this is k. We have now y minus our k, which is 5 squared, equal to 4 times, or we've got now 4a. Since we have named our 4a there, we don't need to write 4 times our a anymore, but simply using our 4a here with 16. And then we have x minus our h, which is a negative 4. So that makes it a positive 4. That's it. That is our standard equation of the parabola. On number 4, we've got focus negative 6, 1 and directrix x equal to 0. So again, plotting those the point and the line there. Negative 6 on x, we have that as 1, 2, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. So this is where negative 6 is on x. And then y, which is 1, is here. Getting the intersection of that 1, this is where our focus is with negative 6, 1. And then the directrix here is at x equal to 0. So we are going to draw that one identical to the y-axis, because on the y-axis, we are passing through an x equal to a 0 in there. So that is our directrix. And looking at the focus here, focus is located to the left of the directrix. So our opening is to the left. And then identifying 2a before we identify the vertex. We count off from the focus, counting towards the directrix. We have focus. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the distance between the focus to the directrix is 6. And getting our a value, we divide that by 2. Our a there is a 3. So a is 3, and then we are now ready to identify the vertex. So from focus, we count 3 units towards the vertex or towards the directrix. We have 1, 2, and 3. This is where our vertex is. And naming the x value here, we've got -1, -2, -3. Our x here is a -3. Our y is with still a 1, which is similar to the y value of the focus. And then let's go to 4a. 4a, 4 times our a is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So once we're done with that one, we are now ready to write our standard equation of the parabola. Starting off with the opening to the left, this is starting off with a y because that's opening towards the left side. So we start with y minus k squared equal to, that's to the left, so we are facing negative numbers or moving towards a negative infinity. So we have a negative on that, and we've got 4a times x minus h. Then replacing our h and k to the equation, and so with the 4a, we have y minus our k there is 1 squared equal to negative 4a there is already with 12, so we replace 4a with 12. And then x minus our h is 3, -3, so that makes it a plus 3 in here. So that is our standard equation of the parabola. Okay, we have number 5. Focus is at 6, -5. And directrix is at y equal to -1. So plotting our focus here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where our x equal to 6 is. And -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. This is where our focus is at 6, -5. And directrix is at y equal to -1. This is y equal to -1. So we expect that our directrix, the line there, passes through y equal to -1. So as you can see, our focus is located downward. So which means that our opening also is downward. Now to find the vertex, we need our a. So counting off the number of units from the directrix to the focus so that we can get the value of 2a to get our a. So we start with the directrix. You can start with the directrix or the focus, regardless of which, that's still the same. So from the directrix, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got 4 units between the focus and the directrix. Dividing that by 2 to get your a. Our a there is a 2. A is 2, so which means that from the focus, we are going to count 2 units to get to where the directrix is. So we have 1, 2. This is where our vertex is. And identifying the coordinate of that, our x there is a 6, similar to the focus. And we've got the y value there, which is a -3. Because we have -1, -2, -3. Y value there is at -3. And then our 4a, 4 times 2, this is equal to an 8. So we're done with that one. We are now ready for our standard equation of the parabola. So we've got opening downwards. So we will have there an x minus h squared equal to, downward, we're moving towards negative numbers. So this is -4a times x. I mean y. Y minus k. So replacing, we've got h as 6, k as -3. X minus our h there is 6 squared equal to a negative. And then we have 4a as our 8, replacing 4a with 8, and y minus k. Our k there is -3. So instead of a minus, this is a plus. And then we've got 3. That is now our standard equation of the parabola. So that is how you write the standard equation of the parabola with a given focus and the directrix. So again, this is your teacher Jenny saying, practice and practice, and that will make you perfect.